is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Back with some more Resident Evil 4 Remake gameplay for you. And today I'm going to be bringing back the next episode of Why No One Takes Gaming Journalists Serious. It's been a while since I've posted one of these, but with a lot of games and news and updates, it's just hard to get around to that. And I have seen some articles I could have done videos on, but I just decided not to. But this one, it finally got me into it because once again, I did have a good thing about this certain topic I'm about to talk about. But of course, as usual, journalists gotta ruin it for everyone with their crazy ideas and things that no one else in the room is saying but them. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the Netflix TombRaider series. As I said, Netflix revealed quite a bunch of stuff they're going to be doing. One of them will be Devil May Cry, and the other will be Tomb Raider. I'm kind of more of a Tomb Raider fan just because, hey, it is one of the games I grew up with as a kid. You know, I remember playing the original ones on the PS1. And I'm happy as hell that we're having a remastered collection with the first three, as well as brand new adventures and like add-on content that weren't in the original ones going to those remastered games. So I can't wait for that next year in February. Ironically on Valentine's Day. What a nice letter of love to all of us. But nonetheless, no, I'm talking about the Netflix TV series. Now, granted, to be fair, I'm assuming this takes place after Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And I have played all the you know, the modern day Tomb Raider games, the 2013 one, Shadow, and Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I did enjoy them. But, you know, this one's supposed to take place after it, and hopefully it does something I think a lot of fans have been hoping for a while. And if you were to have a list like what things people would want from the show, I can guarantee you one thing. What this article is going to be talking about is not one of them. And it just makes me just baffled that people are so disconnected with what people want and what actual honest fans of the franchise really want. But so what is it that this article is debating about or talking about? And I will leave a link in the description if you do want to check it out for yourself. Is Netflix Tomb Raider show needs a place for Sam. Now guys, I'll be the first one to admit it has been a while since I've played those Tomb Raider games, the modern day ones, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't know who the hell Sam was, and I thought it was a guy. Like, I honestly, it's been a little while that I realized they're talking about a woman, and I realized, oh, they're talking about that character from the first one, the 2013 one. That's probably why I didn't really remember him, because, as I said, they didn't appear in Rise or Shadow, but I was like, yeah, let that be a curse for how, like, much of an impact this character led on me, because I did not even know what they were talking about. But anyway, they're basically saying that Sam Nishimura and her relationship to Lara is key to understanding modern Tomb Raider lore, and it's what the show needs to do her justice. I think the show needs to do LaraCroft Tomb Raider justice, not some random side character that nobody have to. I don't even know who the heck she is, let alone like people that have played the game halfway remember her. But yeah, no, they need to be doing LaraCroft justice. That's who needs justice, not some random character nobody really wants to see or ever could care less they never see them again. Because I mean, as I said, I didn't even know who the heck they were talking about. And as we transition from Leon to SeparateWays Ada here, but yeah, this whole article is going to be about why Sam needs to be in here and needs to be vital and for understanding modern Tomb Raider lore. I don't see how she needs to be vital because let's just be honest, she wasn't in Rise or Shadow, so she wasn't that vital. The only person that came along for the ride was I think his name was Jonah. I always called him Tito because he reminded me like Tito from Rocket Power. That's what he looked like. I remember that cartoon back in the day on Nickelodeon. But anyway, so you might be asking, why does she need to be vital? Because they had like the photograph in the trailer that showed like I guess the cast in the 2013 Tomb Raider, and she was in there. Why her and no one else? Well, they're gonna get to that eventually. But here, let's start with this article. Let's get into this. So basically, they go on talking about how the different eras of Lara, you know, the original one, the recent one is a Survivor era, and then a Legend era, and maybe they can tie the two together. And that's something I think a lot of people would like to see, because as I said, I like the Survivor era. I do enjoy that. But it's time we see Lara make a progression and not be that character that's, you know, unsure. We need that confident Lara with all that swag, all that confidence she's always had, and that attitude that's unapologetic. We need to get to that. And of course the dual-wielding pistols. We need to bring them back too. But we want to see Lara return to that version we've seen her in the past before, you know, she's just basically going out on her own and doing things and stuff like that. But this article tries to make it seem like Sam is very vital and they need to bring her back. And as I said, she wasn't in the last 2 games, so what makes her so vital? So they try to make an argument where, because in comics, some of the comics have sometimes contradicted the games. And yeah, I mean, how many times have comics contradicted themselves? I mean, when you make enough content about a certain property, eventually you're going to have contradictions. I mean, look at my franchise I talk about all the time, Resident Evil. I mean, how many contradictions can you find in Resident Evil? I mean, we'd be here all day to the next year to get that whole list filled out. But yeah, there's going to be contradictions. I don't see what to do with Sam. So they make an argument that because there's contradictions and they don't want to create any more, they have to address Sam. And I'm thinking, okay, well, what contradictions need to be made that what does that mean in terms of we need to have Sam because there's contradictions in comics? Like, what, that has nothing to do with anything. Like, what are you talking about? So they go on to basically say that there was a comic that basically had the side characters from the Survivor arc, the characters that you see in a 2013 one, and obviously Sam was a part of that. And they basically say like this comic was dedicated to basically these side characters, not the main character. Let that sit in your head. Yeah, it's dedicated to the side characters because once again, people want to see the main character. They're playing a LaraCroft. By the way, that is one durable pig. I tell you what, he wasn't being turned into a Baconator that day. But anyway. They try to make a case that, like, this comic on side characters, Sam, had a moment in it that basically needs to be addressed, because if they don't, it's going to be a plot point and it's going to be very shallow or whatnot. So what is this whole thing, you ask? What is this whole thing that needs to be addressed is? Apparently, in the comic is called TombRaider Inferno, apparently they had an ending to it where after the island, both Sam and Lara share a hug or whatnot. And then they go on to say that, however, in the original draft of the comic, it said it ended with a kiss, this design that marked the beginning of Lara and Sam's relationship. Even though it didn't happen this way, fans have still hung on to that idea. First off, that's the first I'm hearing about that, and fans have hung on to the idea. I've never heard anyone talk about Sam. Like, as I said, I asked it because who the hell was Sam? And I played the game. That's how little impact they had on me. I don't remember a Sam. And fans have hung on to this idea. I've never heard anybody, I'm not saying they're not out there, but nobody's talking about, you know what they're talking about? They're talking about how the Tomb Raider series can be good, how I can respect LaraCroft, I can make her look like the cool, badass, independent woman that she is. Not, oh my God, because, and the thing I like about it is, oh, this was the original draft, but he went with something different. So what's your point? They didn't do what you wanted them to do. They changed it up. So, but even though it didn't happen the way you wanted it, so now you're saying because it didn't happen that way, this needs to be addressed? What needs to be addressed? What? I guess they were friends at the time. Woohoo. Whoop-de-doo. I know you wanted something more, but that's not what happened. So you just need to, like, I don't know, accept it and move on. They try to tie this into, if they don't address this whole point, they go on to say that, oh, this is the same as like at the end of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, where Lara gets a mysterious letter and they say that, people who completed a game before like a patch or something, the letter was from Natlo, who was a villain from the Legend era. But my point being is, like, they're trying to address like a plot point to ensure another game possibly is on the same basis as a hug that I guess originally was supposed to be a kiss or something, but a hug from a friend, even though it went that way, not the way they wanted it. That's the same basis. Like, they're not even remotely the same part. No Tomb Raider fan gives a damn about a hug or let alone a kiss from Sam. No one cares because it's not important. But of course, you want to make it more important than it actually is and go on some weird obsession over it. Like, oh, it's a big deal. They need to do that. But now we get to the crux of what this person is trying to ultimately say. And they basically say, oh, putting Sam in this trailer feels deliberate. If they don't follow up on this, it'll be a huge, like, a huge bummer. It's like, dude, nobody's watching this thinking Sam's going to be that big of a deal anyway. I mean, she might appear, she might do something, but, I mean, come on now. Like, you're really, really delusional here. But we get to the whole point of why this whole article was written. Because at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with Sam. It's just a simple fact that this person wants it to be confirmed that Lara is going to be confirmed to be queer, and this will be an empowering direction for the character because they're reduced to nothing more to aesthetic appeal, and they say the new Raider urban legend. I don't know what the hell. Like, what the hell? Like, I've heard my things with TombRaider over the year, but what the hell? But anyway, it's like, dude, just stop. Laura's not in a relationship with people, okay? Laura's not in this queer, straight relationship shit. Laura's over that shit. Laura ain't about that life. She ain't about the straight life. She ain't about the queer. Laura is about raiding tombs, doing what she does best, the action, the adventure, the thrill of seeking lost treasures, and she's unapologetic and badass about it in the most utmost of ways. I cannot stress this enough for people who did not grow up in the 90s, but hearing stuff like this and what these modern day journalists want from Laura is like night and day. Laura back in the 90s, if you didn't grow up in that time period, was as over as Stone Cold was in wrestling. Like, that was how big of a name LaraCroft was. I mean, she was so popular, they actually had real life people being her model forever. I don't know if it lasts for a year or something, or every game or something, but it seemed like every year they'd get a new model of LaraCroft, and it would be like big time news, like who was going to be the next LaraCroft real life model and stuff like that. Like, she was on top of the world, and the thing I love about her so much, and I hope that this show bridges the gap between that, is that independent and confident nature of her. Like, LaraCroft didn't care about what she looked like. She was going to dress and look the way she wanted. She was going to do what the hell she wanted, and she was unapologetic about it. Does that sound like somebody who's going to have time for any type of relationship, straight or queer? I mean, that's not the... I know they're trying to make a big deal about, oh, being queer. It doesn't matter if it's straight. That's not LaraCroft. She's not Nathan Drake. She's not going to be settling down for family. She's going to be doing that, too. I guess she gets tired of it, but that's the LaraCroft we all grew up with, and that's the one we hope to see. Once again, I'm not saying she can't have any connections with anybody, but she is the definition of independent, and that's what we want to see. And of course, you know, those dual-wielding pistols. But that is going to be it. That is my opinion. I want to hear your guys' opinion. What do you think about this show? Are you interested in it? Do you think this article makes zero sense? Like, why to make a big deal about Sam? I've never heard anyone really talk about Sam, but let me know in the comment section down below. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully I can see you guys back on the next one. Thanks, and I'll see you all later. Peace.